Hey y'all, this is Marley K. Hope everybody is well. Got a beast system update for you. I told you we were going to be talking a lot about the financial system because it's getting ready to go down, and the new system, which will be the beast system, which is the no buy, no sell system, will come back up after all the chaos has ensued and the powers that be decide we've had enough and they are ready to give us their solution, which will be this new borderless, all digital um, economic platform. That's what I'm going to call it. But it will be tied to um, no buy, no sell, and it will also be tied to this um, push to uh, do something about the climate. So those are the two things that we're looking out for now. They're saying all the keywords, but there are some new words being used quite frequently in our new lexicon. And so we got to get used to these words, and I got to break it down to y'all what they mean. So you will not be caught off guard and unaware whenever the bad happens. All right, so let's get into it. So this is a story that came from Payments. It came out on yesterday, April 29th, 2024. And it says Swift and Veritran team on improved cross-border payments. So before I start, cross-border payments is basically for global economic system. So anytime you see cross-border payments in any way, shape, or form, that's the word for uh, a one world, financial system. Everything is going to be connected. Everything is going to be digital. The other word that we talked about some time ago was interoperability. So it's the same thing. They just have different words when they want to use them when they're talking about certain things. So, they'll talk about interoperability when they talk about communications and, you know, uh, technology as it relates to maybe how governments work or how businesses will be doing business in the future, or just, when it comes to defense and our eventual enslavement, all the things that they're going to use to make sure we don't move as much must be interoperable. So that's, you hear that, but it's the same thing. Cross border, interoperable. Everything got to work together for the good of the global system, the New World Order. And so this is where we're going. There's a lot of movement with this cross border payments uh, activity, these pilots. And so this, to me, signifies that they are ready to shift the system, or at least they've gotten a little bit closer. I just feel like as we get closer to the election cycle, they keep saying things and things keep happening. Um, they're ready, but I don't think their plans are going the way that they anticipated because too many of us are watching. And even though it's not a lot of us, a lot of people are watching and talking about this stuff. And I think they're pretty shocked at how astute we are and how vigilant we are being. So the more we can talk about these things and the more we can break down, what they mean and in the way that the Most High has given us the ability to see what is coming, so we can tell you, so that you will have a way to counter whatever is coming. It's pretty amazing in my opinion, but it's all the Most High, because there's no way I could explain how I know this stuff or why I'm looking for it, why it's coming to me. But I'm just trying to be a good servant and do what I'm told or what I'm led to do. So this whole thing about cross-border payments is in preparation for this global economy. It will be borderless. That's why, you know, everything about this season is going to be, without borders. You're going to not really have the freedom to move, but there won't be any borders. So you look at the migrant issue. I hate to even use the term migrant, but I'll say migrant and illegal entrant situations in Europe, in America, now on the continent of Africa. Even Africans are complaining about the different groups of people who are flocking there and driving up cost for them because people are shifting. People are starting to recognize, those who are awakened, that the Gentile nations, the white nations, are getting ready to, be destroyed. And we know why. Biblical prophecy has told us why. But these Edomites, they're just going to continue to lie all the way to the end until they cannot lie anymore. So, when they mess up something, they got to have another scheme so they can continue to do mayhem and keep folks in the dark about who they are and what they are and why they exist. So we just got to be aware of what's happening. All right. So the banking platform Veritran has launched a partnership with financial messaging service Swift. The collaboration, announced Monday, April 29th, is designed to help financial institutions offer customers enhanced and streamlined cross-border payments. Collaborations such as the improving the experience of those sending payments cross-border, while also increasing transparency and security to improve the ecosystem as a whole. So when they talk about increasing transparency and security, they're talking about this blockchain technology where you're going to be able to see all the transactions. So don't get it twisted. This is what they're talking about. They don't say it out loud. But again, you got to learn how to cherry pick this information out of these articles and just come to the conclusion, because they're not going to say everything that we need them to say. So it says it's vital that the industry players work together in this way to overcome increasing fragmentation in the cross-border payments landscape. By joining Swift's partner program, Veritran's clients will be able to offer their end users access to Swift solutions designed to increase transparency and security in cross-border payments. These include, listen, Swift GPI Tracker, which lets users check a payment's status for increased transparency in cross-border payments, and payment pre-validation, which validates beneficiary data before a payment is sent. So the way that they're going to verify all this data is because it's already stored someplace in a digital wallet and with your digital phone, your digital identification that's going to be stored online somewhere, with your biometric data that's probably stored somewhere from all the places that you've traveled and been put on camera and didn't even know that you were under surveillance and your information was being stored. So this is where we are now. As payments rose earlier this year, cross-border payments have rebounded alongside global trade, although businesses entering foreign markets often realize that traditional cross-border payment methods, such as wire transfers, are rife with delays and complexities. U.S. merchants lost about $3.8 billion in last year alone to faulty cross-border payments, according to data in the Payments Intelligence Report. Cross-border sales and the challenge of failed payments. That study also found that 70% of U.S. firms saw higher rates of failed payments in cross-border sales compared to domestic sales. So notice everything is tied to money. As long as the merchants of the beast can continue to make money, send money, transact, that's all they care about is money. Traditional cross-border payment systems are often slow, involving multiple intermediaries and Manual processes, which can take several days to complete transactions, payments wrote. Innovation can streamline these processes, reducing the time it takes for funds to transfer from one country to another. For B2B companies, a lack of visibility into international transactions can hinder working capital strategies and leave businesses with no clue about crucial operating information. Now, keep in mind, this is a very business centered article, but I'm sharing it with you because you need to understand this is where everybody is going. Everybody is going to cross border payment systems because we're not going to have banks the way that we used to have banks. The Federal Reserve is going to be the bank. The central bank is going to be the bank. The International Monetary Fund is going to be the global bank. And so they're going to control everything. So you're not going to have your local banks. You're not going to have your Walmarts. You're not going to have all these things that you have been able to use to transact, in individuals and business to business, individual to individual. Those things are going away. Well, they're not going away, but they're going to transition into the digital currency, and everything is going to be monitored. So if you send something and it should be taxed, they'll know and you'll pay taxes on it. Employers will have to use this, businesses will have to use this, small businesses, churches, everybody's going to have to participate in this system, or you're not going to be able to buy or sell. So this is the platform that they're using. And so when you hear keep talking about cross-border sales, they're letting you know that there are no longer any borders. We are a global system, and they're transitioning us into global payment processes, and they keep, moving the goalpost, so to speak, so that before you know it, there are no borders. So this is why, banks are going away. I read a story about a bank failed the other day. Banks are getting ready to start failing again, and as soon as they um, remove the curtain and take the cinder blocks from underneath the economy, everything is going to fail. And so, as that fails, everybody is in trouble. They don't have any money. They're not prepared, and all this stuff happens. While we're fighting each other about food and scraps and trying to keep folks out of our house and keep folks from stealing our little stuff, they're going to be setting up the rest of the system. And then after we've killed each other and starved and done all, then they're going to introduce the new system, the new no buy, no sell system that will be connected to the Internet of Things and Web 3.0. Everything will be digital. All these stores going to shut down. So like they got a whole thing planned out. If you can't see it, I don't know what to say for you. But these stories like this basically show you how they're even selling this to naive people who can't afford to not do it, or who are just naive, just don't believe that this system is coming to play. And so I'll give you an example of what's happening. So I rented a car last weekend because my grandmother passed, so I had to go home for the funeral. And so I was talking to the rental car guy, and of course he's white, but quite shocked that I'm awakened. And so we were having this whole conversation. I was with my friend, and she was on her phone playing her video game on her phone, not paying attention to what we were talking about. And so we were having a whole conversation, and he was basically saying, "Oh, you a conspiracy theorist like me." And I was like, "I guess if that's what you want to call us." I was like, "I don't think I'm a conspiracy theorist. I think I'm a truth teller and a truth seeker, but they've labeled us conspiracy theorists, so we won't tell the truth and they can silence us." And he was like, "Yes." So we were having a conversation, and this guy also, he owned the rental car company, and it was his father. So his father passed it down to him. And he also is a tower. So he has a record service. And so he was telling me that, you know, over the last couple of years, the insurance companies or the companies that he's been doing business with have, slowly but surely, like, giving him options to do business by the app. People can call by the app and, have their cars towed, and some other things that had gone digital, but it was an option. He said this year, when he went to renew his contract with this company, it was mandatory that he did all business with them digitally, and they had to use the app, or he would not be able to renew the contract. So, of course, he renewed the contract. But, this is a perfect example of like how years and years and years go by, and they'll make it an option. You don't have to do something. You don't have to do something. You don't have to use the app. You don't have to. And then suddenly you go back to renew your contract, or you go back to the store, or you go do whatever. And then the terms and conditions are completely different. You are forced to do this. You're caught off guard. You're not expecting to have this um, proposition, and then you don't have an option because you didn't anticipate, this situation arising, and so you end up having to go into it. And so as we were talking about, from a business standpoint, he's just a small business person, but he was also a Christian and awakened, and he said, the more I live, the more I see, biblical prophecy coming to pass. And he listens to some podcast, and he was talking, and that podcast was sharing present truth with biblical prophecy, and so he could see what was coming. And so I filled in some blanks for him. I was like, cell phone and these applications are going to be is the mark. It's not the mark. I said it's the tool. And I had to clarify. I said mark is about worship, but the tool that they're going to be using to enforce the no buy no sell are cell phones. That's the chip. Everybody's worried about a chip being installed in your butt. Not in your butt per se, but I'm just saying in your body. But that will eventually come because people are going to just rebel, and cell phone is just the sort of eye candy that people use to get you addicted to chips and the internet and whatever. And so the next phase will be, I'm going to have something embedded in you. I'm going to put something in your head. I'm going to put something in your arm. I'm going to put a tattoo on you. Like they don't have to do any of those things because people will willfully use QR codes. People will willfully scan stuff, like they've been doing it in restaurants for food. They do it so you can scan and get into concerts, like all the fun things, all the things that you need. They've been testing it out in stores. Even your chips and your debit cards, you got tap and pay. You just tap, and your thing is approved, and you go. So, like, all these things are already in place, and people willfully do them every day, especially young people. So, like, older people, if they don't get on board, they will perish. They're not down with this stuff, but the young people are so ignorant and naive, and the parents of those ignorant people are so ignorant and naive that they basically help to usher us into this new era. And the powers that be know that most people are not really paying attention. Just like my friend was sitting, she was on her cell phone, not even really paying no attention to what this white man who's a business owner was like basically saying. He was forced into a contract that he had, not, I won't say forced, but he didn't really have a choice, and it was unexpected. Now at this time, he doesn't feel like it is a huge deal. But what people don't realize is when you put these applications on your phones, they take all your information. They take all your cell phone records. They take all your contact info. They use so much information. You use your phone to search for stuff. You give up so much privacy and so much confidentiality, and the confidentiality of people that you may contact who didn't consent to these folks having access to their information. But because you consent, you give them permission. So I'm going all around the world to just say the system is changing. It's changing rapidly, and people are being forced into accepting terms and agreements to do business. And so businesses are going to transition so they can prepare for what's coming. And this is how, when you go to bed and you wake up and things have happened, and then you will be locked down, you go back outside or whatever happen, however this thing is going to happen, I don't know. But whenever it happens, you'll go away, and then you'll come back, and then it just seems like everything is in place. They've been transitioning the whole entire time. We just don't know it because we don't talk to people. We don't look at things from a variety of different perspectives. And so this small business guy just gave me some insight, um, you know, as to how businesses are going to have to behave moving forward. Small businesses, mom and pops, they'll just roll right into the system because they need to eat, because that's their livelihood. Because today they don't see anything wrong with it, but eventually it's going to be a huge problem. But for a lot of people, it's not going to be a problem because they won't have an issue with the no buy, no sell system. They won't have an issue with the mark or being marked as a child of the adversary because they worship on Sunday. And so they won't see anything wrong with their day of rest on Sunday, an eco Sabbath on Sunday. They won't see anything wrong with it because they don't know the difference between Sabbath and Sunday. So I'm saying all this to say people are going to take this and not think anything about it and not know that they were doing wrong because they have not connected the dots properly. So as you're out and about, be vigilant, but also, you know, try to wake people up and share with them what you know, because that's what we are called to do. I just firmly believe that the restrainer is still there because we have work to do. And I'm trying my best to awaken as many people as I can. Unfortunately, people are just walking around like zombies. And it is really scary because those are going to be the same people that's going to be coming for you. If you're looking all right, if you're looking fat, if you looking healthy and clean and good, they're gonna think, oh, you got something. So they're gonna be trying to attack us. And even if it's nothing but knowledge, they're going to be upset because you're not upset, because you're comfortable knowing that the Most High has us. You're going to be comfortable knowing that you already knew what was coming. And so you're somewhat prepared physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally. You're prepared. They're not going to be prepared. They're not going to understand. And so this is why I have been really just trying to talk to people like, hey, this is coming soon. And even the guy at the rental car place, he was like, so when do you think it's gonna happen next year? Baby, this year. This year. He was like, really? Yes. 2020, 2021. These is 3.5 years. That was the 3.5 prelude. We got 7 years to 2030. uh this year is like it's not quite 7 years, it's a little less than 7 years now, but because last year they declared it was the beginning of the new world order, we're already in the midst of it. So you got to go from, like, say, September of last year to now. Like, we're halfway through the first year of the new world order, and it started kind of like with um the end of the federal, or the beginning, the end and the beginning of the federal year. So around that time. So you look at that and you look at where we are now. You got 1 year that, like, nothing really bad. Well, I can't say that because we got wars everywhere. But things have been happening. Things are only going to get worse. So they got to set up these systems, and this cross border payment thing is going to be all the rage. It's going to be what you see, what you hear. But when you see it and you hear it, understand that is the code for global economic system. There are no borders anymore. There won't be any walls. There won't be any banks. There are not going to be any local anything. Everything is going to be international. So just make sure you understand that. I'm going to finish this article. So it says, for B2B companies, a lack of visibility into international transactions can hinder capital strategies and leave businesses with no clue about operating information. So the cross-border B2B market is growing massively. Neil Drennan, Chief Technology Officer at Visa Cross-Border Solutions, told Payments in a separate interview posted last year. He stressed that this rapid growth means that there are more businesses than ever seeking to move money around the globe quickly and transparently with complete clarity around cost. So I don't know why they keep harping on transparently and transparency. Like, nobody, who cares? I don't care. I care if somebody knows what I'm doing. I don't want people to know that I'm sending money to anybody. Ain't nobody's business. So, just understand when you see that transparency piece is talking about the blockchain technology, you're going to be able to see what everybody does when money moves. So they're telling us what's coming. So just get ready. That's what I got for you. Be ready, be ready, be ready for all the things that are coming to pass. And it's happening pretty fast. So y'all make sure you are thinking about these things that we always talk about when it comes to the no buy, no sell system. They are already piloting it. Companies are being forced into it. And soon you're going to start seeing where you're going to have apps to do business with certain companies. You're going to have to be willing to give up a whole lot of information in order to do business, buy food, rent cars, travel. A lot of information is already stored, but um, when the way that business is done changes, you'll be like, how did they transition so fast? And they will have transitioned so quickly because they've been nudged into it, and now they're being like whacked over the head. If you don't do this, you can't do business with us. So that's what it's come to. Anyway, this is Marla K. Please like this video, share it, and subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell notification so that you'll be notified each and every time I upload new content. Follow me on Instagram, Rumble, Odyssey, and on Facebook. The links are in the description. Any event that I am booted off of this channel, this is my primary platform. I'll contact you on the other platforms, and I will upload content on Rumble. So please go to those platforms and follow me. I do not upload to those to those platforms regularly, only if there's something that I can't talk about on YouTube. But I figured out a way to do it, although they still shadow ban me. But hey, it is what it is. Lastly, continue to prep, continue to pray, continue to seek the Most High. Ask for knowledge and wisdom and understanding during these treacherous, savage times. Repent for your sins daily, sins of commission and sins of omission. Learn to keep the Sabbath and keep it holy. Learn the difference between Sabbath and Sunday, and learn how to not take that mark, and learn what it is to be sealed and be a child of the Most High instead of a child of the adversary and a heathen. because everything that these people are doing now is tied to biblical prophecy. It's already been prophesied, their behavior, the activities they'll engage in, how they'll treat us, what will come, whether it's man-made or whether it's from the Most High. It has already been ordained to happen thousands of years ago. So there's no excuse for you not to be ready. You are living in the end times, the end of an age. And so we must be wise as serpents so that we can endure it to the end. All right, y'all. This is Marty K. Love y'all. And I am out.